Hey guys, Megan here. For my next video, I thought I would do a Draw My Life. Now, I feel really horrible because I forgot to bring my board with me, so I had to waste a bunch of paper. But I will recycle it all, so no worries. So let's begin. I was born in 1991. There's my dad. Oh, sorry, wrong hand. That's my dad. That's my mom, and that's me, as an awesome baby. And we lived in a house in Hudson, Maine, pretty much for all my childhood. Um, I think we lived there until I was about 10 or 11. So pretty much from the time I was born right up until then, that's where we lived. Hudson was a small town, and there wasn't a whole lot of things to do. But everyone was really nice to each other, and everyone knew each other's name. And I loved that about that town. I thought it was one of the things that made it special and unique. When I was young, I loved to play video games. My first system was a Sega Genesis, and the first game I was obsessed with was Sonic the Hedgehog. But I kind of felt like I was a little out of place because a lot of my friends really weren't into video games as much as I was. So I kind of felt like I had to choose between playing video games or hanging out with my friends. And, I could do both sometimes. Sometimes I could get my friends to play games with me. But most of the time, all my friends wanted to do was really hang outside, which, there's nothing wrong with that. So I had to try to make things a little bit even. In Hudson, there wasn't a whole lot of things to do. So we would spend a lot of our time, outside in the woods, hanging out, which was nice. And I still love the outdoors today because of it. Um, Oops. Sorry, my computer just got dark. Um, oh, my finger's right in the way. When I was in sixth or seventh grade, my parents approached me and asked if I would be comfortable with moving. My parents' works were about 45 minutes away from where we lived, and the ride was getting tough on them, and they weren't able to see as much of our friends and family as they would have liked to. Looking back on it, I'm still really shocked my parents even approached me about moving, because a lot of my friends, when they had to move, their parents didn't ask them for their opinion. They didn't ask them if they would be okay with them moving. They just said, pack your shit, we're leaving, and then they were gone. That really, really stuck with me, and I remembered that over the years, and I really appreciate that they came to me like that. Where I'd lived in Hudson pretty much my whole life, I thought maybe a move would be good. Not a lot, but a couple of my friends had moved away, and I heard about their experiences in their new school life, and I thought, hey, I wanted that. And so I moved with the hopes that I would still be able to keep up contact with my friends, whereas we were only moving 35 minutes away. It really wasn't too bad, so I thought I'd still get to see them and hang out with them quite a bit. So we moved to a place called Milford, Maine. It's kind of another small town, but definitely bigger than Hudson. And our house was really nice. My parents, it was the first house that they built, and it was really nice, and I really enjoyed it. When we moved, however, I was in the middle of a school year, so I kind of had to start right in the middle of a school year, so I was a little nervous, but I was hopeful. When I first moved to Milford, I was really scared. I mean, I walked into a brand new school, and it seemed like everyone, already had their own friends, and no one was really looking for any more. Or, I mean, that's at least the way I felt. It was really hard for me to make new friends. I felt completely shy and out of place there. Everyone seemed so different from what I was used to, especially coming from a place like Hudson to a place like Milford. It was just a total shock to me. And one of the reasons why I looked forward to moving so much was because I know that in Hudson, when we had a new kid that came to school, everyone went out of their way to make them feel welcome. Went out of their way to show them, the ropes around the school, show them where things were. Everyone was really helpful and polite. So I guess I just kind of expected that at the school, and I didn't get that. I felt really shunned and out of place, and it definitely took me a while, but I eventually did make some friends, and everything was great until high school. Now, Milford, being a small town that it was, didn't have their own high school. and I was only in school in Milford for a year and a half. It was half my 7th grade and my 8th grade. So, the small group of friends that I had, that I spent a lot of my time with, that I really got to know and love, were going to be ripped away from me. Because, see, in Milford, you had the choice between two schools. You could choose to go to Orono or Old Town. My parents went to Old Town, and they thought it was important that I went to Old Town, but all my friends went to Orono. And no matter how much I begged and pleaded with my parents, they weren't going to hear it. They wanted me to go to Old Town, so that's where I went. And again, I was stuck leaving friends behind and having to start over. At first, things were okay. I mean, I missed my friends, but we still made an effort to hang out with each other, and we still talked on the phone quite a bit. But that didn't really last that long. Eventually, my friends made other friends, and they were hanging out with them, and I kind of felt like I was being on the back burner. So, I figured it was time that I should try to make some friends at my high school. So, I tried to come out of my shell a little bit, and I did make some friends. I made a small group of friends, but it was all I needed. And eventually, after I had finally got comfortable and met my group of friends that I had, the semester changed and everyone's classes changed. And the small group of friends that I had were now in different classes, and the only time we could see each other was during lunch, if we were lucky, or outside of school, which was really hard because we all, oddly enough, the friends that I made all came from different areas because their high schools were too small, or because their schools were small and they didn't have a high school either. So we all lived pretty far away from each other. So I eventually decided that I needed to make some more friends. So I did. But they weren't the best crowd, and I know that I can't blame them for anything that I've done. Everything that I did was my choice, and I just wanted to fit in, so I kind of made some really fucked up choices. The new friends that I made didn't go to school a lot, and I wanted to hang out with them. So I had a choice to either go to school or go hang out with them. So what we would do is we would get on the bus, get ready, go to school, and right before school started, we would all sneak off in the woods and head to the park or someone else's house. This became a habit, and I did it so often that I eventually failed all my classes because I never showed up to school anymore. My parents were beyond pissed, and they even reached out to the school and told them that they wanted to be notified every time I failed a paper or every time I skipped school. So I was good for a while, and I started hanging out with my first group of friends that I had made a bit more, and we even had a couple classes together. But spending so much one-on-one time with my other group of friends that I had made when I felt alone, I missed them, and I missed the free lifestyle that they had, and I was a little jealous. So after a while of doing good, I did fail a test. I didn't study for it, and I was so worried that I thought that my parents were going to get called right away, and I thought that they were going to ground me again. And I got home, and no one ever said anything to me. So I started pushing my luck, and I started skipping school again, and they never found out. So I started skipping school more and more and more. And eventually, that led to the end of the school year. I had received no credit because I had skipped school so much. I had gotten in trouble with my parents, particularly with the friends that I was hanging out with. My parents didn't like them, and they knew that I wasn't going to stop hanging out with them because I felt rejected at my school and I needed somebody to hang out with. And to be honest, I kind of resented my parents for them not letting me go to the high school where all my friends were at, and I guess I kind of blamed them because I had lost contact with some of them. And so eventually my parents decided that it would probably be better if I did go to Orono, to be reunited with the friends that I had from Milford. They had figured that that would be, a lot better than the situation I was in because I never got in trouble when I was in Milford. So, as much as I regret rebelling and stuff, I mean, it definitely got me to where I wanted to go, which was Orono, which I thought would be awesome. I would have all my old friends back, and we would get to see each other every day, and things would be great. But after a while, I kind of realized that my friends had made new friends, and I was kind of, I don't know, the third wheel, I felt like. I did try to reach out and make other friends, which I eventually did. So on top of my old friends, I also had a group of new friends. And things were looking up. I was getting good grades, and my parents were happy. And the friends I had, we hung out quite a bit, and everything was nice. When I was 16, almost 17, it was like a month away from being 17, I met this boy named Andy. He was 20, and I was almost 17. I've had some issues in the past with older boys. That was kind of a part of the group that I hung out with. The people that I hung out with were older than me, and that was one of the reasons why my parents disapproved of them. So, given Andy's age, I was really afraid that my parents were going to flip out and not like him instantly because of his age. So, me being the little evil genius that I am, I decided that it would be best to tell my parents all the good things about Andy first. I told them about how he has a job and that he was really nice to me and that we were able to go on dates and do things together. And it was such a first for me because I dated around, when I was in high school and middle school and little shit like that, but I never really had a real relationship before. It was just kind of like, yeah, we're dating type of thing. It wasn't anything serious. And also, when I met people, whether it be friends, boyfriends, anything, I've always held my guard up. I'm really shy and hard to kind of, break through my wall. But for some reason, when I met Andy, all my walls came down. And I was able to connect with him on a different level than I have been able to connect with anyone before. So it was all brand new to me. So, after I told my parents about his achievements, his truck, his job, his living situation, and everything, my parents really liked him. So, eventually, after I was 17 and I did tell them his age, they really didn't care at that point. I mean, because I had said all the good things about him, they had met him and liked him. So, they were okay with that. And me and Andy have been dating for almost 7 years. And things have been great. He's definitely helped me come a long way. And back to my whole video game thing, this is one of the reasons why I think we're perfect together. Because we both love video games, we both love YouTube, and it's been amazing because I've never been able to share with anybody my love for video games, my love for certain music and movies. I've always been kind of like the oddball, but me and Andy have so much of the same taste, it's amazing. And I know this video is a little short, but I really didn't want to waste any more paper. But that's my life. The end. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this.